Hi folks, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to another Let's Talk video. We were planning to do I'll talk about this for a while. We've been thinking about doing it, but we kept putting it off because I don't actually like to do negative videos. But today there was a post from a developer of Studio Silence basically saying that content creators have their content in Ark is slander. Which is a ridiculous thing to say, and I'll talk about that later. But for the moment, I want to talk about something else that's an even bigger concern for me. And I have a few concerns regarding Ark, but this is my biggest concern. And that is arksurvivalevolved versus Ark Ascended. Right now, we have a divide in the players and the playing community that has came about from Ark Ascended being released. We all know this. But I'm concerned about what that is going to do to the community here because I came from Dead by Daylight and there was a divide in that game between survivor mains and killer mains, and I truly believe that divide ruined Dead by Daylight. I truly believe it. For those that don't know, you have 4 survivors versus 1 killer. The killers like Chucky, Resident Evil is from the horror genre, basically all the killers there, like Jason the Trapper and all that stuff there. It's based on that there, so it's like if you were a fan of the 1890 horrors kind of films there, you would like Dead by Daylight. It was recreating as a survivor being hunted down by killer and trying to be killed, and as a killer you were hunting down the survivors in there, so it was like that to be fun. It's a good game, but sadly the playing community ruined the game for me, and it ruined the game for a lot of other people because there was a divide developed between survivor mains and killer mains. Survivor mains literally would play survivor exclusively. They would not play killer at all, and they would hate killer mains. Killers, exact same thing. They would play killer exclusively, and then they would hate on the survivor side. It was a thing there, and it was a lot of toxic talk in the game and toxic gameplay. And that ruined Dead by Daylight for me. So I'm concerned about the same thing happening in Ark. Because we have arksurvivalevolved, we have arksurvivalevolved Ascended. Now we have arksurvivalevolved being developed. Because in the past we had Studio Wildcard developing Ark Evolved. That was the contract they had with the publisher, Snail Games. That slot became available once Studio Wildcard moved over to develop an Ark Ascended. So the slot for development on Ark Evolved was left empty, as it should have been. But Snail Games have recently filled that. Well, not recently, quite a while ago they filled it with Studio Silence. So now both games are being developed by 2 different companies. So there is a potentiality of an even further divide and a major divide coming between the players who play Ark Evolved and the players who play Ark Ascended. The last one I want to see, and any of us want to see, is players who play Ark Evolved hate players that play Ark Ascended, and then players that play Ark Ascended hating on players that play Ark Evolved. And there is a chance that could happen. I know it sounds ridiculously crazy, but it shouldn't happen. And things like that, we're all the playARK community. It doesn't matter if you play Ark Evolved, doesn't matter if you play Ark Ascended, doesn't matter if you're on Ark Mobile or you play Ark 2 in future. We are all the playARK community. That is the way it should be. But I've seen this happen in Dead by Daylight, as I said, and we all know it. We've all probably seen it in other games as well, in toxic games there. Like, the playing community can be divided pretty quickly, I feel like. And that is somewhat happening there. At least I see signs of that happening, and it concerns me very much. And I just wanted to put out there that we are all playARK community. We shouldn't hate on each other. We should hate on that monkey that just killed me for, because that was rude. But yeah, that is the point I wanted to make there, because I am concerned about this divide between Ark Evolved and Ascended and how far that's going to go. Because it's obviously increased. It started from Ark Ascended being released, and now Aquatica coming out for Ark Evolved. Hopefully it doesn't happen, and hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully I'm reading too much into it there as well. But just in case, that is why I'm putting this video out there. Because I've been wanting to say that for a while, but I thought to myself, you know what? I don't think I need. But today I saw a comment from obviously the developer from Aquatica from Studio Ark saying that content creators have content slander, which was very disappointing to read this morning, because this was not the video I planned to do today. I planned to actually record new content series, because this video in the background is the last video for my Story Ark season that just finished. I'll be moving on to dogs. I was hoping to play that today and get that, but instead of doing this video, so I was very disappointed with that. But with Aquatica, that is my talk about it right there. Like, and the thing I want to say is, like, yes, I'm disappointed with Aquatica being released. I don't think it should have been released. I don't think that developing slot that was left open by Studio Ark moving over to Ark Ascended should have been filled by Snail Games. I don't believe in that. I can somewhat see the side of the coin that Snail Games are a business that run out for money, to make money. And there was obviously more people playing arksurvivalevolved and Ark Ascended, so I can see somewhat why they would do it. But at the same time, just because there's an opportunity to potentially make money doesn't mean you should, because public image is actually more important than making money, because that's where you live and die by. That's my personal opinion. And I don't think Snail Games should have done it. However, they have done it. And I feel bad for Studio Ark, because the last I looked, Aquatica was overwhelmingly negative on Steam. And that's got to be a crushing blow. So I can understand the frustration with the developers of Studio Ark. It's not their fault what's happened. Here, this is completely on Snail Games, and any sort of slander that people put in videos, and I'm pretty sure it's not half their content, but any type of negative talking videos towards Aquatica, from what I've seen, has been directed at Snail Games. It hasn't been directed at Studio Ark. Most people I've seen, and I've seen every single video that's ever been posted, so maybe, I don't know, maybe there is a lot more slander out there than I realise. But I don't believe that is the case. I believe the case is what I've seen mostly, that most people are actually defending Studio Ark and are actually impressed with the communication from them. It's actually been impressed. I've seen the post coming up on the Steam page there as well, the constant communication. I thought, you know, well, that's quite impressive. That's well done to them there. So it's not, our disappointment on Aquatica being released isn't directed at Studio Ark. And I hope the post that we saw today from Osiris is just a one-off out of frustration. That's what I hope it is, but we'll see over time. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the value of Ark Ascended, because I put a video out a while ago, and I feel like I should follow that up a little bit, because I said there's no value for it to Ark Ascended. Now, to be honest, that was a little bit of a clickbait title. I'm not going to hide from it. But I am somewhat concerned about the value in Ark Ascended, because there's a lot of money right now, because we had to buy Ark Ascended, then there's Bob Tall's Tales, then there's one-off dinos as well, then the mods, instead of being free like in arksurvivalevolved, you had to buy the mods as well, like say Swarheimer, for example, which was free over in arksurvivalevolved, but you had to pay $10 for that. So yeah, that plus you got £30 for Ark Lost Colony is mounting up, and eventually at a point there is a question of players want to get value for the money, and there's a question there, is there value to Ark Ascended? And right now I don't think there is. However, I do think at some point that will change eventually there, because I've been playing Ark Ascended a little bit recently. I struggle to run my OBS alongside Ark Ascended, but I've been playing it, and admittedly I've been very impressed with the audio and how it looks. It just looks all amazing, more immersive than arksurvivalevolved, even though arksurvivalevolved is immersive in itself, but I just found it more immersive. It was actually impressive. But what I was going to talk about on the value of Ark Ascended, I want to go into more detail in his own video in future, because there's a lot to that. But I wanted to briefly touch on that, because one of the last videos I did, Let's Talk video, was basically there. So if people are watching this, I might go back and see that and think, oh, we're there. So I want to kind of follow that up a little bit. I do think there's value to Ark Ascended, but I am concerned going forward about that value. because there's a lot of money there. There's a lot of money we're expected to pay. And essentially right now, what I think is this, in a short version, is I think Ark Ascended should have been free, but since it wasn't, Bob's Hotel should have been included with Ark Ascended. That is what I think, basically in a short version. And I don't think Lost Colony should be free as well. So that's anyway, everything I wanted to say. But the most important thing I wanted to say is, we're all the playARK community. Doesn't matter if you play Ark Evolved, or you play Ark Ascended, or you play Ark on mobile, you play PvP, you play PvE, you play single player only, or whatever you do in Ark, even if you don't play Ark, but you're in content creator streams, watching them play it or anything like that, we're all playARK community. So hopefully we don't let this divide between Ark Evolved and Ark Ascended split the communities to the point we are so in Dead by Daylight, but I actually truly think that split between survivors and killers ruined that game. For me, anyway. Maybe not for a lot of other people, but it did for me. Anyway, if you like this, if you agree with what I'm saying, then like the video. If you would like to see future gaming content from me, then please subscribe for future gaming content. And until next time, yeah, take care.